Hey, welcome to Steve Davis Show. Special guest today is Ron McMath, head football coach at West Mesa High School. And Ron, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. We always enjoy coming on this show.
I tell you, it's been a while. Actually, we try to get you in this year. I actually tried to get you in after the All-Star game, and you had to take a little vacation before you started your season.
Yeah, so we had to go out to Vegas and we saw George Strait and kind of took some time off before 2 days started. So we're sorry we missed it, but thanks for having me on.
Well, let's talk about that All-Star game a little bit. It was a good win for you.
It was a lot of fun. The whole week was great, working with the kids. The kids were fantastic. So much talent, but then they were really respectful kids, and they were coachable. And it was one of the best experiences I've had coaching. It was a lot of fun.
I talked to you a little bit at the coach's clinic, and you were pretty excited about who you had and what you had, but you lost some defense. You had to juggle right off the bat because you lost some I think some offensive line or whatever, and had to put the coaching thinking hat on a little bit.
Yeah, we only have 3 offensive linemen on the first day of practice, so we had to juggle some guys around and bring in some guys, but those guys were willing to do anything it took for us to be successful. And that just goes to show what kind of character those kids had when they came in there. And we're able to get a good offensive line going. And anytime you have, Josh Foley back there and Avery C. and Nick Little, you're going to have a good team.
You made a statement earlier that Foley said, I just don't really like to practice, but coach, I'll make it up in the game. And guess what?
He did. He kept telling us all week. He says, don't worry, coach. When the lights come on, we'll play. All the guys are, all those rear Rancho Cleveland guys that say, don't worry, coach. When the lights come on, it's going to work. And, when we walked in the locker room before the game, you could see it in their eyes. That they had a different mindset, and they certainly did play when the lights came on.
And you had a good quote. It says, "Well, I guess this is for only 4 days, and because this wouldn't work in my program
right.
for the whole season." So.
Right. We were really relaxed with the kids, and we let them do things normally we wouldn't do in our program. But like Adam, for 4 days, I didn't coach him for 4 years. If we coach him for 4 years, you got to coach him a little bit different. So we just tried to have a lot of fun. We didn't do a lot of conditioning. We didn't run a lot of drills. We just went out there and learned plays and played football and had fun.
Well, and it was fun for you to, I was again at the game. I got to watch the game and see it, but for some reason I'm a fan of yours. I always try to go to your games or be around somewhere or watch it on TV and try to break down the game. You're probably tired of basketball language being talked about football, but at least I'm there doing the game. So.
Well, we appreciate that. We kind of go way back. We've known each other for quite a while, and we'd appreciate you being there and supporting West Mesa and coming out and watch my teams play.
Well, Buster was, he asked me the game. We get to golf every now. We don't get to golf now as much, but he goes, well, what games are you going to do? I said, I'm actually going to do. Scott Galletti asked me to help him, and I don't. I don't mind doing games, but I'd rather do people that really, coaches and that have really broke the game down. Like in basketball, I have no problem of doing a game because I've been there and I know what the preparation is. In football, I'm a little hesitant, but then Scott called me and he says, hey, would you come on and do that? I said, sure. And Scott's such a great professional. He prepares, so it makes it my job really easy to come in and just say, to make the broadcast go well.
You guys do a great job, and we appreciate you covering high school football like you guys do. It's great for kids.
I tell you, it's funny, Ron. I mean, you go back to when we started. It was like, why are you here? I always say this: why are you here? And then now it's, why are you not here? And even last year, it was, and I got it done this year. Adam was going around and getting 2-a-days and kind of missed a few schools, and I got a little earful, not in a good way, but I'm just saying. And I brought that up to Adam. I said, if you're going to do things, make sure. Because that's who we become. Is what you're not. Don't forget about. We do it all, or we don't do it at all.
That's right. Our kids really look forward to seeing the broadcast and seeing themselves on TV, and we appreciate Adam. He came out and covered us early, And you know,
well, he learned. You know, he's coachable too. You know, he got a little ridicule, and you did it in a good way. But it was fun that you know, and I got to go to your golf tournament. I mean, that was fun.
That was awesome. You guys coming out. You know, first time we've had a golf tournament at West Mesa this year, and you and Buster, and you brought a team out there, and it was
actually I was a guest. Buster brought the whole team, and it was a beautiful day.
It was great, and you know, we had a lot of kids out there in the course, a lot of football players, and I think it was good for, you know, our supporters to be able to meet the kids, you know, in a personal setting like that, and to get out there and kind of interact with them, I think was really cool.
No, I usually when you're playing those tournaments, it takes a long time. And this thing went. I think we started at 8 and we were done by like 12:30, and we're out of there by 1 o'clock, 1:30, yep. and it was very, it was fun for. The only thing I'll be honest with you, I was really kind of up. For some reason, Buster found his drive, and he was out driving me. So it was kind of bothering me just a little bit there. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see you guys play much, but I just sat there on that par 3 and hit balls all day at that par 3, and
that was fun. Yeah, you got your money's worth out of us. We had you hit like 8 balls.
And I'm pretty sure you played one of them too.
Yeah, we did. Buster, we thought Buster got you, but you came in and beat him by a couple of feet.
No, that was
we still didn't make the putt. So we needed to be a little closer. But you didn't get your job done on that one.
I should have went up there and made the putt for you.
That would have been great. Next time maybe you can do both. You know.
I actually did for a couple of teams.
But here's the amazing story. I mean, how do you go to your golf course and lose your golf clubs at the par 3 deal?
Yeah.
Did you hear the real story behind that? I want to hear the story.
Oh, we found it finally. Yeah, one of the players. He drove off. I told him to go get something with my golf cart and have my golf clubs on the back of it, and he came back and the golf clubs weren't there. So eventually we found them. They were out on the golf course somewhere. They were laying on somewhere on the par 3 out there, so he did a little off-roading in the golf cart. Apparently.
Oh, so you caught him?
Yeah, he did a little off-roading and came back without my clubs, but somebody picked him up and turned him into the clubhouse, so it all worked out okay.
I didn't hear the end story. I just heard that you found your gloves, but I didn't know what. Because it was on our hole. You were like, where's my golf?
I was a little upset. They still make jokes about that at school. It was like, you know, the one kid, JJ, is like, don't give JJ anything, coach. He might lose it.
Well, I tell you, that was hilarious. Because I thought you were just kidding, and we're all looking. So you're like, and you were like shocked. It wasn't a setup or anything. You're like, where's my golf clubs? And he goes, well, I don't know, coach. And you go, well, where did he go? I just went right over there. I was right there when he said it. It's like, I just went over to the clubhouse and came back and.
Well, we got the real story, but we got them all back, so it ended up okay.
That, you know, back to your, you know, West Mesa. I know you wear a lot of hats and do a thing, but you know, I guess you're the Booster Club president of that. And but there was a guy there, and help me out. He's not even a West Mesa, and he really helped you a lot out.
He actually organized the tournament. Dan Dixon. He was a wrestler of mine when I was a wrestling coach at Cibola, and so we've developed a really close relationship. When I was the head wrestling coach, he became an assistant for me. So we've known each other for a long time, and he volunteered all his time to organize this deal and to get it going. And he doesn't have a son that goes there. He never went to West Mesa. He's just loyal to me, and I really appreciate that. And he came out and organized the golf tournament and put it together and did a great job.
It was very, like I said, it was. Actually, I had, you know, maybe this not, but I had 2 great golf tournaments. San Diaz was a good one too, and their format was, the reason it was great, you know, was because they had 18 teams. Okay, so but what they did 2 in the 2 on the first 18. Okay, that makes sense. They said it had an A and B on the first 9. Okay, the first 9 holes. Okay. And they put me on the 9th hole. And I was like, you know, this is going to be great, man, because there is nobody in front of us.
Oh yeah, I got you.
So we didn't catch any, but we didn't see anybody. We didn't even see anybody on the golf course for almost 10 or 11 holes, 12 holes, and we were done in like three and a half hours. And now the other people, you know, they were started there. We were a 9A, and we just went from there to the next hole, and
maybe we'll get you guys a better starting position next year at West Mason.
That's why, see, being number one is not always the best starting
That's
position.
right.
You know, so actually, my feelings were hurt a little bit when they put me at number 9. Okay, but no, I was probably one of the last teams to get into the tournament.
Right.
But again, and let's talk about Ladera. I mean, it was Ladera Golf Course, and I tell you, that's a hidden secret, I think.
It is.
Play a lot. You play a lot of golf, and what Bill Harvey has done with that golf course.
It's in fantastic shape. You know, I've been very impressed. The fairways are great. The greens are great. Great place to play golf. And you know, I've played that course, you know, since it opened. I grew up on the west side, so I've been playing it since the 80s. I didn't play it for a long time because it wasn't very good. And just within the last probably 3 or 4 years, it's become really, really playable, and it's an enjoyable experience to go out there.
And we don't have the graphics, but we're going to go to Dream Style Remodeling Top 10 Plays of the Week.
The Steve Davis Show is proudly presented by Dave and Buster's.
He's got some wheels. Look at Wysong go. He turns around and looks, and he's in for the touchdown. Doesn't look like there's any laundry littering the field.
Teams looking gray and Highland in a color rush, do we say, in all yellow. There's a throw out to the end zone, and that's caught. Touchdown, Volcano Vista North. It's a beautiful catch out there.
There you have it. Price has a long throw, and it's going to be out of bounds.
So this is big time stuff. DeAndre Williams had the reception. Look at this, a screen in the right time, just a lot of room across the 40-yard line to the 30. It's a foot race to the end zone, all the way, touchdown.
For the state champs, they're going to be victorious here on opening night. Russell still on his feet. A late touchdown for Savion. It's his third of the day.
Wow, that was great.
I'm with you. So, Glacier, he's got plenty of time. Glacier rolling, now firing. Nice. And that's complete. And there's some more. A block at the 10, to the 5, leaping to the end zone. Touchdown.
He's a busy guy. End over end, kick short. Roy Ball fields at about the 25-yard line. Little bit of a hole. That's what Roe Young might go to the house here. One man to beat.
Yeah, you're not going to catch him. You're not going to catch
Roe
him.
Young will return the kickoff. Looks back. I don't know why he's doing it. Look at that separation. One and oh, he brought it in.
First and 10 at midfield. Swing pass on the near side. Bolden gets to the outside. Look out, Brandon Bolden. One man to beat. And is he still on his feet? Yes, he is in bounds, and that is a touchdown for West Mason. And he's
and that's a midline option again, and a nice play there by Hayden, and he can go all the way. Is he going to get there? Touchdown, San
Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Our interns here at Proview Sports Network get pretty competitive. Rivalries are real. So with the big matchup between the El Dorado Eagles and the La Cueva Bears, time to make my pick here on the Proview Rundown. I'm going to go with the El Dorado Eagles. You know, I'm going to change my decision, and I'm going to go with the La Cueva Bears. They're feeling it. All right, hey, calm down. Guys, you do it every time. This is ridiculous. You know what? I'm going to be in Macon.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We got a special guest here is Ron Mameth, the head football coach at West Mesa, and coming off a good victory on last Thursday night.
Right.
This thing started, and I think we did 12 games last week, so I kind of, as you can tell, I'm getting a little older and have that Alzheimer's.
We all are.
But I think let's go to the film room with Josh. He pulled up some Dylan. I'll let you take over Adam Dill since he didn't pick you. Maybe you can you can take over and make him, you know. It started out right here with this was a big interception. This is like a 6-minute. Del Norte gets the kickoff, right? And Bolden gets the interception, and your defense steps up here and again in the first half after a good drive.
Yeah, you know, we were kind of bend but don't break. They made some plays on us, and they
don't steal my thunder on that.
Then Gabe Ramirez, that was kind of a broken play for us right there, and he just kind of makes stuff happen.
How quick is his feet? I mean,
he's super quick, and he throws the ball pretty well. And yeah, that was J.J. Ruiz with a big hit right there. And then here they are down on the goal line again, and I was actually trying to call timeout on that play, but the referees didn't give it to me, and thank God they didn't.
Well, those were 2 plays that Del Norte, and you had 2 stops. You know, they had good long drives, and then this play here just kind of.
Yeah, Brandon Bolden makes a great move to get it going, and just get down the sideline and kind of turn on the jets, and got in the end zone for us.
He's one of those impact players that you miss him.
Gabe Ramirez making a play and then throwing it up, and Cameron Schreier showing his basketball skills, kind of tipped it up in the air and got the rebound himself. And this is kind of lucky. We were kicking it off. We weren't really onside in it, but it happened to hit one of their guys, and we jumped on it, and it gave us a chance right before half. And then this was actually their first play in the second half. Damian Altamirano, picks it off and almost took it to the end zone. And then Gabe Ramirez again, just finding a way to make plays for us all day long.
Nobody gets a real hit on him. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's a great play, too.
Yep. Cameron Schreier again, we threw it up there. And they just keep making plays. I think Paul Salazar picks this one off. It was a little underthrown. And it was 4th down. We kind of jumped on Paul for a little bit because we lost 12 yards on the play. But he said, Coach, I might have taken it back all the way. So, he went out there and made plays, so we're happy for him.
Well, big win. I mean, it surprised a lot of people. I mean, if you looked at the, our expert, the expert panel at Proview Networks, and they, there was only one person that voted for you, and it was a former player.
Yeah,
you got a little loyalty there. You know,
Alden has some loyalty to us, and you know, I appreciate that. I think Sebastian picked us also.
Oh, he was tweaking, man.
Right, and so we appreciate.
He got
them.
one poll in. It's according to which poll he was in. So, okay.
So he hedged his bets a little bit, huh? But we appreciate that, and you know, we know we have some guys that can play. We weren't sure, you know, what the chemistry is going to be like on our team, but we like what's going on right now. Our kids are working hard, and they're supporting each other, and we're starting to build a really good team chemistry, and we look forward to the rest of the season.
Well, you know, it's week 1, and it's nice to have a win, but it's a long 10 weeks.
Yeah, we got 9 more games to go, and we got a tough one coming up Thursday. So, you know, we're back at it. We're back at working hard.
I didn't realize it was that quick.
We play actually our first 4 games are on Thursday nights this year. So, you know, we have 6 Thursday night games this year, and then we play 3 Fridays.
Is that good or bad? What's your feeling on that?
I personally don't really like having that many Thursday games because
we have 3 days to prepare.
Well, you know, we can prepare for that. That's fine because, you know, we use Saturday.
Right.
We post game on Friday, practice on Saturday, so we kind of get in the rhythm, and that's okay. But I really don't think it's good for the kids to go to school on Friday after a long night like that. I don't think their focus is there. I just
from the educational standpoint.
Yeah, just you know, for their grades and for their education, you know, I don't think it's great for kids to do that on a regular basis. But you know, again, we don't make the schedule.
I never thought about that. I was looking more about, you know, a little bit the same way, because you're here. If you win or lose, your Friday practice is not. It is more of just.
Well, it's, you know, Friday at school is tough. You know, I mean, if you play, you know, we didn't get done with that game till almost 10 o'clock. You know, the kids will go home and eat something. They don't go to sleep till midnight, and then they're back at school the next morning, and you know, it's kind of tough. And we really emphasize grades a lot at our school. We want our kids to be successful in the classroom. And so, you know, we're not going to let them miss school on that Friday. we check and make sure they're there, and we make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to in the classroom.
You know what? All the coaches, I mean, of course, your athletic director, Sean Shire, I mean, they really, and even Manny, I mean, everybody is, y'all guys are all interactive with each other. You guys work with each other. It's probably one of the closest coaching staffs about athletes, from men's and women's. I mean, you have every time I go to a basketball game, you're there. I go to a football game, and all the coaches are all there doing something or helping in some kind of role.
Yeah, we have a good thing going over there. You know, we're all kind of friends, and we support each other, and we support each other with athletes. You know, we don't have a lot of kids in our school, so we have to share athletes. You know, Brandon Bolden's a really good basketball player. Obviously, Cameron Schreier on the basketball team. You know, we have several of the other good basketball players. They're also football players. Last year we had Dominic Fisher, you know, the same way. And a lot of them play baseball as well. A lot of them run track, and we had a whole bunch of them wrestle. So, you know, we love our football players to get out there and experience all the sports that they can. But, you know, academics is the most important thing for us, and being good citizens. And so I personally really push the fact that I want these guys to be good people, and I want them to go out in society and be successful when they get out of school.
Well, I mean, one game, you know, doesn't make the season, but it was a good start.
It was a good start.
You have some, you know, watching that film and a good Del Norte team. Let's don't take anything against Del Norte. I mean, if you really break that game down and that they dominated probably the first 1.5 quarters of that game.
Yeah, I think if you looked at time of possession in the first half.
I think I had it down. Yeah. At one time it was like 34 plays to 8 plays. Right. And it was like, I think the first half, if my memory is correct, it was like, there's 12, 24. It was like 18-8 or something like that minutes. Right. That they had ball in their possession. And
they did grind out some first downs, and they have a great running game. But our guys just came up with those stops when we needed them, and so we were kind of fortunate, you know, that we got some turnovers, and then our offense made big plays. And when you make big plays, you're not going to have a lot of time of possession. So sometimes that can be a little misleading, you know, when we're breaking off 50, 60-yard plays. But they do have a good offensive line, and they have a great running game. And they kind of brought it to us early in the game, and we were fortunate that we weren't behind after those first couple of series. But turnovers for us has been kind of emphasis since last year. We didn't do a good job with it, and we didn't have one turnover. We actually didn't fumble the ball one time the whole game. So we didn't put any balls on the ground.
You started off the second half. You couldn't have started the second half off any better. I mean, if you take that into that second quarter, the momentum from the second quarter carried over to the third quarter.
Well, we did get the ball in the opening kick, and we went 3 and out, so we weren't too happy about that.
Oh yeah, that was I forgot. So that, but you came back and
then we got a big interception on the first play, and so that kind of got the ball rolling for us in the second half, and we knew it was going to be on after that.
Now you had a substantial lead, but I was, just from my standpoint, was the type of team Del Norte is. They could grind it out. They get, and I think I even made some statements. You know what? They don't need to panic right now. If they can just get sustain a good 5 or 6 minute drive, keep you. And they did what they needed to do, and they did exactly what they needed to do to get back in the ball game on that first series. They stopped you. You're 3 and out, but then you get that, the little pick 6 there, and go in, and then all of a sudden, what I saw from that point was the confidence, because you're a younger team. All of a sudden, it just seemed like, oh, hey, we need to go ahead and finish the game. I think that's something you need to be proud of. I mean, I saw it just from watching from being up in the high. Probably a little bit more. You saw it on just listening to the players on the sideline.
We talked about it at halftime that we needed to come out and finish, and we wanted to do better in that opening drive and go down and score and kind of get things going. But that's what we couldn't do in the past a little bit, is kind of finish games. And the guys came out, and when we got that interception, and our confidence got up, and we just kept playing hard.
Well, and I like I said, I got to, and I was actually, truthfully, Del Norte and Bruce, he didn't come out and try to deviate from his game plan. He came out and he ran a few pass plays and stuff, but he still kept with those drives and tried to sustain, and he got some positive. He scored one time there and got some positive for the next game, because that team's pretty. They're good.
They're going to be good.
The score is not. It really doesn't say what really happened in that game.
Well, especially in the first half. For us to be up 20-0 in the first half was very fortunate. Because they were in the red zone, deep, I think 3 times. And our guys just came up with big plays. And Bruce does a good job. He knows what his kids can do, and they do it well. They run the ball really well. He runs counter. He ran it over and over on us, and we had a hard time stopping it. And I think they're going to be just fine as they go through the rest of the season.
Well, the other point I want to make, too, is the you guys sustained drives. I mean, you made some great big plays. I mean, you had 3 good big plays or whatever, but you also control that clock in that second half. I mean, and because you went out 3 and out, I was going, oh no, this could be. If you go like three and outs and they score in those possessions, and this game changes. It changes the whole dynamics of the game.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest drives for us, I think, was in the first half when we went 97 yards after, Brandon Bolden stripped him on the goal line down there on the 3-yard line, and then we took the ball. I think it took us 8 plays to go 97 yards, and I think that was a huge momentum shift. And then in the second half, we had some nice long drives, and took some time off the clock and was able to cash in on it. And that's kind of what we're working on. Just holding on to the ball, not making turnovers, and then stopping them when we need to, and hopefully we can get better at that at the season, because we had some tough teams coming up, and we know it's going to be a tough road, but we're just going to keep fighting on.
Well, Ron, we're going to come back. We're going to talk more about West Mesa football and more about the opponents you're going to play here in the future.
All right.
Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters! It's like it never happened!
VR Junkies is a virtual reality arcade. We specialize in all things VR, from the simple phone-based headsets to cutting-edge full-body motion systems. Check us out at the Coronado Mall. VR Junkies.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Looking for some exhilarating fun? It's at All Out Zone. All Out Zone showcases Nerf Dart tag games from team elimination battles to human versus zombies, pitting two teams against each other in fun, organized chaos with trained referees, music, and a full arsenal of Nerf blasters. You need team parties, birthday parties. We can customize the party to fit your needs. Visit us at the Coronado Mall. Give us a call, 505-444-6964. All Out Zone.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
The Steve Davis Show is proudly presented by Dave and Buster's.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We got Ron McMath, head football coach at West Mesa. And Ron, I mean, you got that one by. It doesn't get any easier, does it?
No, it doesn't. But, you know, it's always good to have victories. We don't care what week it is, and to start off 1-0 is always good.
This week, you got St. Pius, very impressive St. Pius team, you know, against Highland, and you know, a lot of, you know, going back to a lot of mixed emotion on the picks because of all the people that lost, a new coach.
Right.
But I tell you, they didn't look like they lost a beat last week.
No, they look good. You know, I mean,
I don't know if you had time to break them down or.
We watched the game, and we've been watching film on them, and you know, they have a really good-looking quarterback, sophomore quarterback that's going to be good.
He had like 4 touchdowns in his first opening. So,
you know,
you know what, I made the statement that there were, you know, just going back to last week, there were some pretty impressive individual players last week. I mean, Briere had, you know, getting the 300 yards, and the quarterback at Pius. Do you know his name?
Last name is Pavia, I believe.
And he steps up, and LaQuava, Wilkerson. I mean, I'm just sitting there, just looking across the deal.
I think you got to throw Gabe Ramirez in there as well. You know, for us, Gabe had 153 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns, and he threw for like 125 for three touchdowns. So Gabe kind of stepped up and took a lot of people by surprise, and I think people.
Well, he took me by surprise, man. I mean, and you know, and 2 other players. I mean, actually 3 other players. You know, Ruiz, is that correct? And then and then Bolden was big time, and then also Shire. I mean, you know, Shire had 2 touchdowns, you know, and one was an acrobatic one in the end zone, big one right before the half. So.
Yeah, no, we have some playmakers. You know, Paul Salazar had a big run that was called back. Mark Garcia had like 60-yard runs that was called back. So, you know, we had some guys step up and make some big plays for us, and we're going to need them down the stretch, that's for sure, as we get going into district. And we're just trying to find out what we have before we get to district, and then try to make a run at this thing.
Pius, a little bit back to Pius. I mean, it's you know, they played on Friday. They have less time so they have less time to prepare for you. So you got maybe one more day's rest. Preparation. If that's a positive, I mean that gives
Yeah, we didn't really rest. We had a pretty good practice on Saturday, so yeah, it is. I guess a little bit of
not a rest, but I'm just saying get a little bit
preparation day.
Right.
But those coaches over there, they do a great job, and I'm sure they'll be
defending
ready.
State champions, and
that's right.
And
they lost a lot of players from last year, but it didn't look like they missed a beat the other day. And we're excited to see, it'll be a good test for us to see kind of where we're at, to get out there and match up with them and see if we can pull off a W.
Well, that's the plan. But
that's what we're going to try.
And I'm going to pull this up, but let's kind of look in the future. You've got Volcano Vista. And I know coaches don't look ahead, but Volcano Vista. They had a very good win.
Right.
The week after that, you have La Cueva.
Yep.
And that might be a good game this week, La Cueva and Cleveland, to see.
Should be a great game.
I guess the real question is, hadn't been a lot of talk about La Cueva in the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, and all of a sudden you're hearing, Manzano's a team that everybody seems, Manzano, Cleveland, Rio Rancho seems like all I heard in the coaches clinic, that these teams are the deepest in depth and have a lot of experience coming back.
I would not overlook La Cueva. They have most of their defense is coming back. They have a great middle linebacker, Lloyd-Dolt. And their offense is starting to fire, and they're definitely a top 5 team right now for me. And there's a great chance they could be up there higher than that at the end of the season.
And that game's it's Friday, I guess. No, I don't know. I thought it's a Thursday night game too, I do believe.
For us, against this week. Yeah, I'm not sure when they play this week, but I know we play them on Thursday. The first 4 games are on Thursday, and then right after that we get Piedra Vista. And then we get into district, so we're
going to talk more about your district in the next segment. So I really want to talk about their weekend and what I think somebody made a great statement, or I read it, and James Otis says that basically for right now these teams are pretty deal, but at Trisco Heritage, even though they got beat by Manzano, they made some good plays.
They did.
West Mesa, you guys made a good name. Valley, even though they got beat by Volcano, and I didn't get to watch the first half, but I came in and got to watch the second half. And actually, in the third quarter, Valley outplayed Volcano Vista. And what I understand is they had two major turnovers in the first half, or that would have been a different game.
Yeah, we were watching that one, and Valley was giving them everything they could handle there in the third quarter. And I think Volcano was a little bit deeper, so they kind of came out on the end late in the game.
What a hot day. That was probably the worst out of all the whole week.
It was hot for us just sitting there watching it.
Yeah, it was 90 degrees. I was up in the air conditioner, so it was 90 degrees, and it was over 100 degrees on that field, and there was a lot of people cramping up. And that was, if I remember right, 3 years ago, it was really hot the whole week. It was, and then last year it rained every day. It was rain delays and everything. But this week was actually pretty cool. Most of the weather was. Your game was.
Our game was perfect.
It was a perfect game.
It was a beautiful night.
No wind. I was looking. There was no wind. There was no, and it was kind of cool on the field.
No, it was because it was kind of cloudy all day long. So. We had a great day to play. We're just happy that the lightning stayed away. That's always the deal. You get those lightning delays and it can kind of mess things up. But no, the weather's been great, and Valley's going to be tough. Trisco's going to be tough. Albuquerque is going to be tough. It's a fun district for us to play in.
I would just, we have a creature walking behind us here, behind the show, and I was like, I can't see it on the green screen, so we don't get to see it. But I was like, wow, what's happening here? Anyway, but is this your sixth year? Is this 6th year now? Or
yes, sir. Yeah, 6th year at West Mesa, and we're loving it. The kids are great over there, and we're doing great things for kids, and that's why I coach.
Well, I know that not only do you coach, but you have many duties, and one is my ankle might need to be taped up for the next game. But thanks, Josh, for coming through, man. I didn't want people to think that we were unsanitary here in the thing, but. That's kind of like somebody coming off the bench and coming on the gun and shaking you up a little bit, something. But
yeah, we're good.
But
yeah, I'm kind of dusting off my athletic training skills, and our trainer is not approved to work with kids yet, so I'm taping some ankles, taping some wrists, and working with some kids. So yeah, we have to do a little bit, few extra things over there, but it's all for the kids, so it's all good.
But I just thought about that also gives you a good relationship to talk to some. I mean, you get to talk to the kid, see him, and sometimes the head coach, because you're delegating so many things that you don't get to really, because you have what. 35. You have 100 kids in your whole program.
We have actually about almost 120 right now in our whole program. So it's hard to get that one-on-one contact sometime. And we try to at West Mesa. I try to make a lot of contact with the kids. But yeah, when we're in there taping ankles for them and taping wrists before the games, you get to know them pretty well.
Well, we're going to come back again. We're going to talk more about West Mesa football and also talk about kind of what happened this weekend around the whole state.
All right.
Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Our interns here at Proview Sports Network get pretty competitive. Rivalries are real.
You two, jeez.
Football's back right here on Proview Sports Network. All the best rivalries, all the best action, every game on Proview Sports Network, Comcast 26, and the game of the week on My 50 TV.
Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school letter jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Hey, welcome back to the Steve Davis Show. We got Ron McMath here, and head football coach at West Mesa. we had a little different, a little different team captain this week for your game.
We did. Elijah Demas, one of the West Mesa Yaffle kids, is battling cancer, and we kind of got a hold of the story. One of my assistant coaches, his son, is a Yaffle player, and he kind of came up with the idea. Him and his wife did. Melvin Archibald and his wife Leslie came up with the idea of getting Elijah to be our honorary team captain. So we contacted his family, and we got him out there and had him in the locker room before the game. Took him out on the field, and he was able to, he was all dressed out in his pads and his helmet and the whole deal. And he came out, and he was with the coin flip, and he was our honorary captain. I guess he actually got to make the call on the flip, and we gave him the coin afterwards, and he stayed for the whole game. He was there at the end, and we just really want to show our support for Elijah and let him know that we're behind him on his battle with cancer, because he's battling hard, and he's a great little kid, and our players have really responded well. They did. We brought him in at the end. He was right in the middle of the break, and they all broke it out with Elijah, and we all congratulated him, and it was nice to have him out there, and our kids kind of thinking about something other than themselves.
Well, that's funny you say that. And I say that Scott Gleddy and I were doing the pregame before the game, and you came over and told us, told him that he was, but it's either the week before or the 2 weeks. It's funny. We've done 3 weeks now of Yaffle, and then I think it was the first week of Yaffle. I got Josh telling me it was the first week of Yaffle that they actually, and right before half, he got out of his wheelchair. They got him out of his wheelchair, and he got to run a touchdown.
They gave him the ball, and he got to score a touchdown, and
they made the top 10 plays of the deal. So I mean,
we got a hold of that. And
not only is West Mesa behind him, it's also Proview Networks and Yaffle, and it's neat to see, because I know his condition is very sensitive at this stage.
Right. And then we follow him on Facebook. If you want to follow him, it's Elijah's Journey, and they post regularly about his well-being and how his appointments go and how he's feeling, and we're just praying for him and showing him as much support as we can get, because we want him to beat this thing.
Well, so it almost goes to show you that football's just not about winning and deal. It's about the connections, and even when players get hurt, it's amazing how everybody gets around them and supports them, and I don't think you can put a price tag on what you coaches. I'd say you coaches and what you do for the integrity of the young men.
And we really try to. That's kind of the way I was raised as a coach. I learned from some great coaches. Coach Joe Vivian, Hall of Fame coach, was kind of my mentor as I grew up, and the reason I coach is to help kids. I know there's a lot of coaches out there, and the one thing they want to do is get that blue trophy and win the state championship. That would be great. Those things are what we strive for. But for me, the most important thing is for young men to be successful when they get out of our program. For us to give them the skills to go out there in life and be good husbands and good workers, good fathers, and be positive members in the community. And so I think when you can go out there and show that something else is important other than football, I think it's a great tool for those kids to learn from, and know that maybe it's not all about them, and it's not about the selfishness, but it's being selfless and putting other people first that's going to make you successful.
Well, you've already. We got that run right here. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
You got a play-by-play.
There's Elijah.
And I think the two kids there are his cousins,
right?
That helped him get across.
Right, and Vic Aguilar is his coach, and he set the whole deal up. And his dad and his mom were with us on the sideline, and Vic brought his whole team. They're all there, for our game as well. And I think that's a great thing that they're doing for that young man. and we want to support it as much as possible.
Well, it was neat that, you know, I think for that Yaffle game there were like 2 or 3 TV stations there too. So
right.
That's not the whole community, you know. And I think that's what Proview does, and the coaches do. Is it's the community of New Mexico. I don't even just say Albuquerque or the metro area. It's everybody has some kind of relationship with somebody in the state with sports.
You bet. And you know, we use sports as a tool to help young people out. We realize that, you know, there's not a lot of people that are going to make a living in sports. There's not a lot of people that are going to get a free education because of sports, but it's all going to benefit everyone who plays. And so I think when we keep that in mind, I think sports has a bigger purpose in life, and more than just winning that, losing that game on the field. And there's lessons to be learned that's really going to help these kids in the future.
And I think the big, you know, you said it earlier, and it was, you actually caught me off guard, Ron, when I said, oh, you know, do you like Thursday night games? And the first thing, it was the, you know, because I'm used to talk, you know, about, you know, it was about the education, and that you're more concerned about them giving the same effort the next day in class, because if they don't make it in class, then they don't get to play.
Well, that's right. And, you know, our goal is for those kids to graduate and to get a good education. And so, you know, one of the things, you know, we maybe at West Mesa, since I've been there, we haven't won as many games as we wanted to. But the one stat that I'm the most proud of is the fact that every kid that's played in our program for 4 years has graduated from high school.
And not a lot of people can say that.
No. And so, you know, I tell our parents, if you want your son to graduate from high school, put them in football for 4 years. And they may not be eligible all the time, and we've worked with kids, but in the end, every one of them will graduate if they can play football for 4 years. And we feel like that's a win at West Mesa.
And good things have happened. I mean, you know, talking about West Mesa, you know, Coach Schauer, he's always same thing. He's, you know, let me take a step back. Is you look at the coaching staff's coaches, is that you guys do an amazing job for the talent that's given to you, and people in the community see that. So, you know, I know I just you're right. Sometimes it's not about your district. I tell you what, your district to me is probably the funnest district to watch, because, you know, the schedule of the teams may not be, the records of the teams going into that district may not be, you know, 7-0 or 6-0 coming into the district play. It might be sometimes it's 0-5, right. But it just seems like there's new life in the whole in your whole district, man, because everybody knows that they have an opportunity to win that.
And you know, there's some really competitive games. There's some of the best games in the city you're going to see in that district.
Scott Gleddy and I were talking about that. He said, you know, really, the best games last year were out of your district on coming down.
I think after week 3 or week 4, I think everybody was tied. Or after week 2, everybody was 1-1 in the district, and there was 4 teams tied for first place, and there had been 1 point, 2 point, 6 point games right and left, and you know, it's fun for all the teams involved.
I mean, you don't think that we don't know? I mean, it was, you know, we were talking about it. That was one thing we talked about on the sports desk, because, you know, and you know, and talking to Coach, to the Trisco Heritage coach,
Coach Johnson.
Coach Johnson, let's say it, and he, you know, he has your district's got a little chip on your shoulder, because they don't want to be the team to get in to be the 16th seed, winning their district, and then getting beat in the first round. He says no, and he kind of showed that. I mean, and Valley showed it. You showed it. I mean, this team's this district can come back and bite some people.
I think that, you know, level of football is going up, and, you know, Trisco's kind of own the district, and we feel like, you know, we can get in there, and, you know, if we can win 2 or 3 non-district games, we can be in the hunt even if we're not district champions. If we have, you know, 7 wins, 6 wins, then maybe we can get in there.
You know what? I didn't even think about that side of it.
Be a playoff team, even if we're second place.
Because most of the time that's been like a one district,
Right.
I mean, one district team gets to go to the Sweet 16. So, or it's 12 now.
Yeah.
Top 12. But
top 12. But it has been one team come from our district for a while. But there's nothing to say that it can happen. It's I mean, some people kind of write us off, but we need to get in there and get some non-district wins and prove to some people that we can play. But Atrisco, they put up points against Monzano. Albuquerque High put up points against Centennial.
That was interesting.
Valley put up points against Volcano. So, they weren't complete blowouts, and I think the district's showing that we're getting a little bit better. And I think maybe we'll be able to get a couple of teams in the playoffs this year.
And you can see the pride that the coaches are, that are bringing. The programs are getting a little stronger, getting a little tougher, and the biggest, and it was really surprising to me that to hear that you have 120 kids in your program that's remarkable. Because when you took over, there was like maybe 50 or 60 kids, if I'm correct, and then it might not have been that many.
Yeah, we built it up. Right now we have about 75 varsity JV guys, and we have about somewhere around 40 freshman kids. So, we're keeping kids in the program, and, the way I look at it is if athletics are good for kids, then the more kids you have, the better program you have. So I tried, I go out there and recruit kids, and we try to get kids in our program because we know if they're going to be athletes, they're going to be better students, and they're going to end up being better people. So, that's part of my job is to get those kids out there and help them out.
Well, Atrisco Heritage numbers are up, and I know Valley's numbers struggle a little bit, but it's their enrollment's down too. So,
right.
so they do a good job of like I said, I watched all three games. I mean, I did your game, but I watched the Atrisco Heritage game. I watched Valley's game, and I watched a little bit of Highlands game on TV. I get to watch it on
right.
Sunday night, and it just shows you that this district, and or don't even forget the district, the teams that y'all are playing before district. It's not like, all right, we're just going to mark up and check mark that we're going to win this game.
We hope not. We hope we're not the homecoming, game for all these teams that we played like it kind of was when I first got there. But, we're just going to go out and play every week. And, what I tell my kids and what I've been telling them, especially this year, is we're not as worried about our opponent as we are about us. If we just
and you told me that. I remember. I mean, it was either last year or the year before, and I remember it because you kind of keep an eye on you subconsciously went to a game. And,
sure.
One probably just because you were just bored, you just want to go do something you were going to get. But is it you don't really you just focus on the next game and you take the deal and you kind of keep an eye on what's going on in your district because that's who you're going to be really competing against in the next 3 weeks. And you got a big district, so you're almost in district. I mean, it's amazing how quick this goes.
Yeah, we have 5 district games, and we just try to tell our kids we compete more against us than we do against other people. So we want to be as good as we can be, and if we can do that, if we can go out and not turn over the ball, and we can execute well, and we can tackle well, and not make penalties, then we're going to be successful. We may not beat everybody, but we're gonna have some successful games.
That's my whole point.
Right. And
you just can't say, all right, we're not going to prepare the kids. They better get their kids up because
we prepare every week. That's for sure.
Hey, well, Ron, thanks for coming on again for my show, and good luck for the rest of the season, and congratulations on your win, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
You bet.
Steve Davis Show is proudly presented by Dave & Buster's.